Good morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Monday. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. Wherever you may be, wow, is it incredibly gorgeous here in the Valley of the Sun. Happy Phoenix Open week. It's going to be tremendous. Matter of fact, it's going to be hot for the Phoenix Open, and it's Super Bowl week, right? The Super Bowl coming up. God, I think we're going to be like in the 90s. Yeah, that's pretty toasty. It was really nice on the golf course this weekend. So I hope you're enjoying it. For those of you that don't live here, I'm sorry. Right? I don't know what else to say. It seems like it's cold as HE double hockey sticks everywhere but here. But we didn't come here to talk about the weather. We didn't come here to talk about sports. We came here to talk about what's going on financially, the big pullback on gold and silver on Friday, at least for right now. Follow through on that today, which just means mega opportunities. Do not let this pullback go by without adding something. And I don't care what it is. Add to your portfolios. For those of you that need to sell, I get it. It sucks, right? Because, trying to be here, this is why, right? Catching the tops and the bottoms are it's impossible. When you need to, you need to. I will say this. If you're a bigger seller out there and you want to get paid in $100 bills, call me today. It'd be a really good day to do that at 800-951-0592, the website at allamericangold.com. I'm going to get the specials out of the way because I don't know what the price of gold and silver are going to do right in the next 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. Right now, gold's down $200. Just below $4,700, $20 gold pieces, $49.95, 10 or more, $49.75. So below $5,000. Think about on Wednesday, they were almost $6,000. So almost $1,000 off. Right now, gold or silver is down $8.50, $76.75. I am one of the few dealers. I told you silver was going to be gone. Silver Eagles, remember. So the only thing readily available in Silver Eagles are unsealed, backdated, open containers. And we know how those are, right? We know how those are. They're going to have the toning on, the rim toning. They're fine, but, they're not brand new. However, I've been in this business a really, really long time. And every once in a while, that pays off. Right? There's people out there that I know in this industry that got caught in this blowout, for lack of a better term. By the way, we lost our first bank this year, a Chicago-based bank. By the way, right, kind of where the COMEX kind of, the trading houses, right, kind of just, I know it's New York, but they traded in Chicago. I don't know if it was the silver wipeout or the crypto wipeout. I don't know.
I heard there's a handful of them getting ready to go.
Yes, get ready. In any event, some other people's misfortune is my customers' gains. So today, I have 5 sealed boxes coming my way. The price per roll, I can't even believe I'm going to say it, $1,895. Silver Eagle rolls were going to be almost $2,900. Not going to be. They were $2,900. Wednesday, more than $1,000 off. Now, I know some of you got in Friday, and you're like, well, Joe, gosh, that's cheaper than Friday. Well, yeah, gold's down like, $8 more, guys.
Silver.
Silver, did I say gold? Silver. Down anymore. Listen,
gold's down
all
a
of you
more.
all of you that bought Friday, you're going to be great. Trust me. You're going to be great. Those of you that haven't, call immediately. Rolls of U.S. silver. Oh, by the way, look at gold. Wow. Just cut that loss right now. 800-951-0592. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. I've got 2 lines open. I should have no lines open.
What's that price again, Joe?
These are rolls of U.S. Silver Eagles. They are going to be coming out of sealed cases. Yeah. Nobody can get them. By the way, I did find out. So I was asking this morning about sealed cases. I'm like, hey, to my wholesaler, how long till we get some sealed cases? 3 to 5 weeks.
So yeah, if we order that route, this may happen to us. This may be something we can't avoid, but at some point we may be putting stuff on the air and say, well, you'll get it in 6 weeks or 7 weeks.
Right. This is not that. This will be here, lickety split. $18.95. Remember, I only had 5 cases, so that's what 25 rolls in a case. It's only 100. It's not that many. It's not that many. By the way, silver's picked up $2 since we went to commercial break. So
yeah, it's bouncing.
Yeah, I have the right to raise the price. Just telling you. Right, $18.95 can very easily be $19.95.
There's a lot of
very easily be $21.95.
Retailers all across the country are just shutting down and waiting. So you guys have an absolute opportunity, since you guys are listening to this show, to buy and sell every day. We haven't shut down, but it's a tricky game right now. So that's why Joe is like, hey, we reserve the right. Because we reserve the right when things are acting abnormally,
right.
It's
right.
By the way, guess what you're doing 8 years ago today? Guess what you were on the air saying, Joe?
Gosh, what was 8 years ago?
8 years ago, Groundhog's Day. You were saying,
we were announcing our. I was like, hey, anybody want to become my partner and open an office in Colorado? That was 8 years ago.
$50,000 to buy 10% in, and I was one of the 20 guys or so that called. That
was a lot. That was a lot of guys. Yeah, it was. Wow. I didn't realize. Yeah, you know what? I should have. I don't know if Puxatani Phil saw his shadow or not. I guess I did see. That makes sense now why I saw a groundhog on one of my feeds today.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what happened in the silver and gold markets Friday. Maybe not as genuine as we think. Now, Jason, I've been telling you, listen, this pullback was due. And we warned that it could be very significant, and it was. However, Friday ended up being a really weird day where the COMEX privately announced, not publicly, which I don't understand, that they were going to raise margin requirements today, and they were going to raise them significantly. Now, remember, I've been telling you that trick won't work long term. But when you factor in that they really didn't give people notice, that it was due for a pullback, and you tell J.P. Morgan before you tell anybody else. Now, I can't prove they told J.P. Morgan before they told anybody else. But J.P. Morgan put in a short position that was so large that people were, screaming from the rooftops about price manipulation. It should be illegal. Listen, we can argue all of that. J.P. Morgan, in my estimation, did nothing wrong based upon what the current rules are. Now, are the rules crappy? Yup. Should they be changed? Absolutely. Right? But
one more question, Joe. One more question. Yeah. Does J.P. Morgan have an unfair advantage? Yes.
Yes.
That's just the way it is.
J.P. Morgan put in a short with a $74 price. Well, I shouldn't say that. They closed out their short. So think about this. They put the short in Friday morning, closed it Friday afternoon. Like that's how fast they did it. And they closed out at 74. And I think silver got down to like 73 or 72. Like this morning, it got down to 71, right? And 70 is an important chart number, okay? Then J.P. Morgan turned around and bought more physical silver at $78. And they bought a lot of it. So, well, I can't tell you, is this, because there's one other number here, 70 and 55, right? The 55 being the other. Could it go to 55? It could. And why am I saying 55? Why is 55 important? All 55 was when silver first broke 50. It got to $55, and then there was a pullback. Remember, I think it got down to like $47. And then the second time when it broke 55, basically went to $121. Not in one day, but you guys, the run was on, right? Here we go. Close it all out. That could be the bottom line number. The reason I'm thinking it may not be is obviously J.P. Morgan didn't think that was going to be the number, Jason.
Right. And as you're describing this, what it shows me is that strong position that J.P. Morgan has means that we could see this happen time and again in the future. Maybe silver at some point here, in the next weeks, it'll start pushing back up to where it was, before the Friday drop. And they can do it again and do it again and do it again. We're going to have possibly this crazy market going up and down. Maybe for a while, Joe. It's maybe this Friday might just be a tester, right? Because we're going to see $300 silver, $200 silver, which I think we're still going to. $100 drops are how big companies are going to manipulate and make money. But
this is why, and again, I know I said I'm okay with it, and I know a lot of people get mad. The margin requirement needed to be raised significantly. I absolutely agree it needed to. Why? Because a lot of banks are in trouble because of stuff like this. I can tell you in my industry alone, my phone was active all weekend because of it. There's a lot of good gold and silver dealers that probably are going to go out of business because of it. So if raising the margin requirements stops from having 500 down or up or down days in gold and $40, $30, $40, $50 moves in silver, I'm all for it. It will not affect where they are going. What they are trying to accomplish, at least this is what we need to believe that they're trying, what the COMEX is trying to accomplish is to try to minimize the people that actually don't want to take possession from using momentum or whatever else to run the price up or to run the price down. So what they do is, hey, you've got to pay a lot more to control that gold or silver contract. In other words, if you want to not take possession, but try to manipulate the price up or down, we're going to make you pay for it. And that usually we're like, okay, I'm going to, well, I guess really what it does is it leaves J.P. Morgan more in the driver's seat because they got deep enough pockets. They don't care what the margin is, right? But in theory, Jason, this is what they're trying to do is kind of take it, and they know gold and silver are heading higher, but maybe do it in a way that isn't so volatile. Right. That's what they're saying. That's the official answer, right? That's the official
With J.P.
answer.
Morgan pulling what they did Friday, I think part of this will also be how much silver and gold can they shake out of your pockets while they're doing this.
Yeah, and let me tell you, they did. And then they bought it all. That's the part. Actually, that's the part that proves, at least in my mind, that we're right on this. That this is a temporary, short-term price correction that is nothing more than a huge buying opportunity. Right now it's over $79, down $5 and change. Getting ready here, $18.95 is getting ready to go away. If we get above $81, I need to add $100 to it. So if you want rolls of U.S. Silver Eagles that are coming out of sealed cases, they're $1,895 at least for the next $2 worth in gold, which could be 2 minutes. 800-951-0592. This week is Jobs Week. So we're going to get that this week, Jason. So we're going to get payroll. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we are going to see what the jobs looks like. And this is going to be, I think, pretty simple. The lower the number, the faster gold and silver recover. The lower the number, the faster they recover. Because that will say, oh, see, forget about the inflation numbers that got hotter last week. Think about what we had Friday. We had this perfect storm We had a hot PPI. Kevin Warsh, kind of, I guess, the most legitimate candidate, actually got picked for the new head of the Fed. And, of course, obviously the requirement that they were going to raise margins set up this perfect storm. They get jobs numbers this week that are, obviously, I don't think anyone thinks they're going to be high, right? The question will be how low, right? They're talking about maybe 25 to 50,000 jobs is kind of like what they're thinking, which isn't very much. They're hoping that the unemployment rate will stay at 4.4%. But that could be the next catalyst, right? What could be the floor? Oh, the jobs market still sucks. That means we can still push for rate cuts. We'll be back. Listen, 1895, sealed case. 800-951-0592. Got one line open. Rosa U.S. Silver Eagles. Whatever's left. Again, we have very limited. These are coming out of sealed cases. $1,895 until they're gone at 800-951-0592. The 10-year note, 427. And again, I think that has a lot to do with, boy, did we have to sell a lot of debt last week. And the only debt that's going, auctions that are going really well are the short term, 2 years and under. Everything else, not so much. If you're watching TV, silver 79.37, they'll tell you it's up. So we had a big move in the aftermarkets on Friday. Gold is only down $20 on TV, but I'm telling you it's down almost $200, right? You know, silver's down $6 because of what happened on Friday in the aftermarkets. But if you want to jump in, $20 gold pieces, $49.95, 10 or more, $49.75 on the gold side. Silver, like I said, $18.95 on Silver Eagles. You know, 5-ounce silver bars are like $480, right? You know, you got, so that's, you know what? I didn't think about that. I got to look. We may be pretty close to silver round prices on Silver Eagles today. Let me see. I could be wrong. Got to change prices so much. Yeah, I got silver rounds at $19.20. So, boy, that's how good of a deal this is. 800-951-0592. That's what you can do when you can wire a lot of money quickly. Yeah, it helps out. Having said that, when we're looking at all of this, there was one winner this weekend. Texacoin had a good weekend. Now back into the 90, mid-90s right now. I think that, remember, tomorrow, Iskander, the first block to be minted tomorrow on Wednesday. You guys that want to do something less than a 27-pack are going to get that opportunity. This is going to be extremely beneficial to the price of Texacoin. This is going to be our second mine, first non-U.S., right, in our global mining network. So if you haven't gotten into tech, by the way, right now, and this has not changed, if you are not a Texas miner, you cannot buy Iskander. We will go live on the first exchange in April at Token 2049, which is the major crypto event, which just happens to be in Dubai. So that is when you can start buying and selling Iskander on the exchanges. So this first couple of months here, you get to get in, kind of like the pre-launch here. 800-951-0592. And they made it really easy. They're going to be much easier to get in this time than it was last time. The U.S. government, ready for this? $766 billion of treasuries last week alone. Are you kidding me? By the way, the 30-year note pushing 4.9. So, Jason, now we're back now with the 30-year pushing up on 5% again. We have the yield curve continuing to steepen as the amount of U.S. debt that needs to be sold seemingly having trouble when you want to sell more than 2 years, right? When you get into 5, 7, 10, look at today, the 10-year note, right? 4.27, 4.28, just seemingly saying, hey, we don't really care what the Fed does with the Fed's funds rate. If you're going to have to auction all this debt, you're going to have to pay to do it.
I guess there is a trick there this time that if you lower the rates, that the bonds might not follow with it. So that's a pretty big indication that there's some big issues, Joe. That's for sure. So hang on. I mean, I saw that China was offered to buy the Venezuelan oil. They're one of the first customers. Like, okay, well, here you go, China. You can have the Venezuelan oil. Dollars.
Yep.
Right, Joe? Dollars.
Yeah. Yep. And one of the things, remember, right, there's only certain places Venezuelan oil can go, right? You got to have the refineries that can actually refine that type of crude. Remember, it's a heavy or sour crude. We have those refineries here, right? All of those refineries really come from other countries. Oil has to come from other countries because we have the sweeter crude by and large here. So, yes, obviously we'd be a customer.
Remember the neocons. The neocons were like, well, we gotta get control of this Venezuela thing. We can't let China get their hands on this. Hey, China, we have control of it. Give us dollars. Have some oil. That's exactly what happened. Remember, there's drugs, and it was keep it out of China's hands.
Yes. Oh, that's right. I forgot about the drugs. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nobody's talking Venezuela. Venezuela doesn't even be talked about anymore.
Right. Right. It's just like the Epstein thing. Boy, what a great weekend for that to come out, right? I mean, everybody's so caught up with ICE and everything else. And then, wait a minute, they had the big crash in the markets. The new Epstein file releases kind of, outside of the lefty stuff, you didn't really see a whole lot out there. If you went on to what I'll call the righty websites, all they wanted to tell you was about Bill Gates and his STD. Oh, yeah, you're right. Apparently, the only one that was in the drug market was Maduro. Right? None of those other people were. It's just like Epstein. Same thing. Right? Only one person was guilty, not everybody else. I don't know how we got there, but we did today. Hey, we're going to be back. Grab that silver. Run to the phone. 800-951-0592. We got some people were texting me about what happened Friday. Is it possible that they were figuring out a way to hide the lack of inventory at the COMEX, drive the price down, and then buy a bunch of it to kind of put it back in? Very possible. Very possible. And I'll be honest, I hope they did. Right? Again, this does not, I want to reiterate this to everybody, this does not change anything. As it sits right now, 2026 will be the 6th straight year where more silver is consumed than is available. In other words, what is mined, the little bit of silver that can, the problem with silver is it gets used, right? When you put it into stuff, it gets used up. But there is some scrap, right? Jewelry and stuff like that. But when you take the mining and the scrap and you add it together, there is more physical demand than those two numbers added together. So silver has been living with above ground excess. What has happened now is they tried to ignore it, tried to manipulate the paper price to ignore it, hoping, I don't know what they were hoping for, right? But someone would find hundreds of millions of ounces, I don't know. Or maybe the demand would tail off, whatever it may be. It didn't happen. So now, when we look at what happened on Friday, it is just simply, gosh, you guys, silver started the year at $72, went to $121. Let's just go back, take a quick retest. I mean, would anybody be mad? It's February 2nd, Monday. Silver right now is $79. Okay. Would anybody be upset if silver was $72 or $73 on January 1st and was $79 on February 2nd? And listen, it's been in the 80s today, right? So would anybody be upset? Hey, silver's up 10% in a month? No. Here's the thing. It's going to be going up 10% a month at a minimum because the amount of available excess above ground that exists in the world today simply is so small that all of it, whether it's the COMEX, whether it's the London Metals Exchange, the Shanghai Exchange, the thirst for physical silver inventory goes on unabated. And this is why I said, Jason, everybody, and I mean everybody listening, I hope you're adding some gold and silver to your portfolio. Friday today is, does this end? Do we end up? How soon do we end up back at $100? That's a question some people have asked me. I don't know. Is it going to be a week, a month, 3 months? I think that's probably the time frame. 1 week to 3 months. And then after that, Jason, I have a hard time seeing. My guess is the next time silver crosses 100, that may be the last time we see silver below $100, at least in terms of the fiat U.S. dollar.
Yeah, I won't go quite as far as that, because if J.P. Morgan says, hey, we can drop and buy, I could see $150, $175 silver and then have it went all the way back to 90. So beyond that kind of market profit taking, Joe is exactly right. I agree completely. But now that we have it in place, because this is something else, Joe. You talked about the COMEX raising, right?
Yeah.
They did that in December. I don't know if you remember, and it took silver.
Well, they've done it this is the fourth time,
right?
But this one, not a lot of notice, and it was very substantial.
In December, it took silver from 85 down to 70 something, right? And then it climbed right back. And I think this dramatic push was because they were not having the desired effect, Joe. Yes,
they had to fix it, right? Because you're right, I forgot about that. They did raise the.
It was like a road bump, right? It was a speed bump. Yeah. Right, so they did the dramatic, and everybody took advantage that was in a position. But boy, you guys got to keep listening every day. 2026 is now we are must-listen radio. Now you could have skipped us a few days in the past, maybe, but now, Joe, it's like every day you just don't know what will happen, right?
Yeah. And the yen is weakening again. Uh-oh. Right? There's always a downside to all of this. U.S. Silver Eagles, and I'm not talking about grungy, cold, tone. Nope, coming straight out of sealed cases, $1,895 until they are gone. I got 3 lines open. Get in and grab them. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. Wow, breaking news here. The 3 largest dealers in England are now announcing that they are out of all bullion, all of it. Wow. All coins, all bars, Bairds, Shards, Atkinsons. These guys are huge over in the UK. The Perth Mint just sent me an email. I don't do a lot of business with the Perth, but we do some. They are pausing. You can no longer order 1-ounce silver kangaroos. That's their gold eagle. And said that they will update on February 23rd. So that is at least 3 weeks where they will not take orders. Our mint does the same thing. When they get so backed up, they just stop taking orders altogether. The biggest thing that I'm seeing is it looks like a rush to buy physical metal. So JP Morgan, I guess they controlled the paper price at the expense of, it looks like this has created even more physical demand globally. So when you sit there, Jason, and you look at, hey, silver at $120, a lot of people are like, I don't know if I want to, take delivery of a lot of silver. And apparently by getting using the paper markets to get control, it's actually turning it the other way. And now people are saying, hey, this may drive the price to 400 instead of 300 because a lot of demand is occurring at a time when they thought, at least from the, I'll call it investment side, jewelry side, that is more sensitive to price, orders were slowing down. And Jason, it doesn't take long. In one day, they're already out saying the amount of physical orders is now overwhelming. Again, London, Asia, here at home, it doesn't matter. Anybody that uses silver in anything is flocking to this price.
Yeah. I mean, and why wouldn't they? Because this is an upward trend that had a very violent, quick drop. So I don't think anybody in the know is going to walk away from this. In the years I've been doing this is about as much of an opportunity. Because, other times it pulls back, Joe. Sometimes as we scratch our heads, like, we don't really understand why, Right. This one is like we said before it went down that it was going to go down dramatically and that it would go back and pass its highs. We said it before it went down. So I'm pretty confident that it is going to go back up. And what you just said, all the biggest buyers are going to need to buy it. So
it makes perfect sense, though, doesn't it? And now they're like, uh-oh, man, that was great, what you did, but now it's going to make the shortage worse.
Right.
Right? Because all of a sudden, people that were starting to slow their purchases just came in and reloaded up. And again, this isn't paper, physical. And that is why the run on gold and silver, it's a physical market that's driving it. And these margins, you can manipulate the paper price for a little bit, but all that did was create even more demand. Of course. Yeah, why did J.P. Morgan reload at 78? Now you know.